Hey everybody, I am making veggie stock, and this time I'm going to pressure can it after so that it doesn't take up so much fridge space, because I'm making 2 huge 20-quart pots and that's going to be a lot of veggie stock. So I've got all my frozen food scraps here from the week. I've got just like random, I save my little produce bags, the ones that you get at the grocery store when you're shopping, and I just throw in, like, this is just a little bit of yellow onion scraps. This is all of my scraps from when I made pico. So I got tomatoes, I got red onion, I've got cilantro, the cuttings from the cilantro, a few limes that I finished with. Here's some more onion scraps. Just empty it all into a pot. This is some greens that might have been starting to turn, so we just froze them. There's some sweet potato peels, spinach, whatever you got. Here's some collard green stems, some asparagus ends that we cut off. Fill it up. We got more cilantro. Here are some mushrooms that were gonna go bad. It's so much cheaper to make your own broth than it is to spend like $3 a quart for the veggie stock that they sell at the store that doesn't have salt or oil in it. It's kind of hard to get healthy veggie broth for very cheap unless you make your own. And anybody can do this. You don't need to use a huge 20-quart pot if you don't have one. Just use whatever big pot you've got. You don't need to use fancy veggies. You don't have to use carrots, celery, and onion every time. You can just do whatever you have and it will make a delicious veggie stock. You're adding the veggie stock to your recipes anyway, so you're not gonna notice if you forgot a couple of things or you didn't have a few things. In the last week, I bought 150 pounds of tomatoes. So this was all of the cores and the peels in this huge block of frozen tomato. So this stock is admittedly going to be pretty tomato rich, but that's great. That's fine. It's going to come out a nice liquid either way. So just fill it up, go nuts. Once it thaws, it's going to settle down and not take up quite so much space in my pot. So that's everything that I had in the freezer. And then I just picked out of my garden some other stuff that is getting a little overgrown. I've got a bunch of celery stalks that I'm just gonna chop up real quick, some parsley, leeks. So these beautiful leeks that grew in my aquaponics garden are so nice. They're so flavorful. So just chop them into manageable chunks. All these greens that are on top are really nice too. Give it a really good flavor. I got lots of celery I'm gonna pick through. All your celery, the tops and the greens are really good. Yeah. Here's a little more celery. And then I also grabbed a bunch of herbs. I had some rosemary out of my garden. Shoved that in. I got a whole bunch of parsley. Okay, and once you're all filled up, just try to cover it with water, or this one's like over full, so I'm just gonna fill up with as much water as I can without it overflowing all over the stove. And then turn it on sort of a medium just to get everything to thaw. It'll settle in, and then you can just cook it on medium for as many hours as you want until it's convenient to strain it and do something with it. I might even leave this one overnight and can it tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. One more thing. You can add peppercorns, You can add bay leaves, you can add coriander seeds, mustard seeds, you can add some cumin seeds if you want. Anything or nothing, it does not matter, but if you want to get some added flavors, those are some really great options. Okay, that is all. I'm gonna freeze all that for next time. Okay, we are back and the stock has been simmering all day in the two big 20-quart pots behind me. And now all I'm gonna do is strain out all the junk for the compost. So I've got this big strainer basket, another 20-quart stock pot, and I'm just going to ladle it in here. So I'll set this in here and we will get started. Oh yeah. You could try pouring this in. I've done that, and I made an ass of myself. So once this is all done, I'm gonna strain it through a finer strainer too, and then we're gonna take it downstairs and pressure can it because it's gonna make way more than I can use before it goes bad in the fridge. And so for pressure canning, I will just give you a little rundown. I'm gonna do it in quart jars instead of pint jars, and it does have to be pressure canned, so you cannot ever water bath can veggie stock because it's not acidic enough. So we will have to pressure can it. And I'm gonna do 25 minutes for quarts. If you do pints, you can do 20 minutes, and then do a 1-inch headspace. So that is everything you need to know for the pressure canning. If you don't know the pressure canning steps, and that is unfamiliar to you, go back to my pressure canning beans video, and all of the step-by-step is there for you to sort of get a handle on the process, and you'll know exactly what we're gonna do, because I'm not going to repeat any of it. Okay, I think I can pour this safely. Not all of it. So then I'll just slowly lift out my basket here. Maybe I need a fourth pot. I'm just gonna set it in this big bowl, get the rest of it out. Okay, now I'm gonna rinse this pot out and we're gonna strain back into it through a finer strainer. So I've got one strainer that's just gonna hold my finer sieve, and we'll just set them one inside of the other. And then I'm gonna pour this back into this pot. One down. This is my compost bin, essentially, this big bowl. Okay, now we're gonna just do the same thing again. Pot number 2. So I've got, this pot is like almost totally full. I bet you I have like 18 quarts in here, and like another 6 or 7 in here. So I probably got like 25 quarts of veggie stock. So instead of just canning it into quart jars now, remember my big canner only fits 14 at a time. I could reduce this, get a good rolling boil on it and reduce it down by a few quarts, and then when you use it, you would just need to add some water and dilute it again. That was probably, what, like 2 or 3 weeks of frozen kitchen scraps that I used for all of this. In other words, you have pretty much an unlimited supply of veggie stock, so take advantage of it because that stuff is like $3 a quart for the quality stuff like this in the grocery store. I have 2 options now. I could have gone straight to pressure canning it depending on how much you made, but I made so much that it's not even gonna fit in the 14 quart load in the pressure canner, so I'm reducing it on the stove behind me. Now, the thing with veggie broth is since it's not thick like a tomato sauce, you can put it at a pretty strong rolling boil to get it to reduce faster, whereas with tomato sauce, you'll scorch the bottom of the pot if you do that. So you can get this to reduce a lot faster. And then once I can get it down to about 14 quarts, I'll take it and pressure can it. What I've done before, and I'll make a video of this too, is like, you know how you can buy the veggie, the stock in like either a cube or a powder? One time, I just cooked it down into a really, almost like a paste, and I freeze dried it and it came out just like a powder. And so that was pretty cool. So maybe I'll show you what that's like in a video, but that's just another thing that freeze dryer I have in the basement is pretty cool for. I don't really do it often because I haven't really needed to, because I can just can it and have it in a jar and it's much simpler. But just for fun and for the fun of cooking science, maybe I'll show you how you can reduce it down into a powder sometime. I've said before that the store-bought veggie stock that is not full of oil costs like $3 a quart. And I just made like 25 quarts of stock that has no oil and no salt. So I consider it to be even better than the $3 stuff. And so this is like $75 of veggie stock that I made, and I didn't pay anything for it. I used a little bit of stuff, fresh stuff out of my garden, but I didn't even need that. I could have just done with what I had from my freezer scraps. So that's like a free 75 bucks. So don't miss out on a really good opportunity to save money by freezing your kitchen scraps. So now you've seen it firsthand. So that's all. I'm just reducing it down as much as I can, and then I'm gonna pressure can this load. So don't forget to join my Facebook group where we talk all about healthy food prep so that you don't have to cook every meal every night. You can do a lot of food prep so that you can just grab things out of the fridge, use your canned prepared food so that you're always eating healthy and you never have to fall off the wagon and sacrifice your health to eat fast. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.